What's going on, everyone? So it's 2020 now, and per usual with every year, I'm doing my top 10 most anticipated movies of 2020. Now keep in mind, this list is going to contain mostly big movies, and that has a lot to do with the fact that around this time of year, there aren't that many independent movies that are on the schedule. And that's mostly because of festivals. So when movie studios go to festivals, they look at the movies and they say, hey, I want to put forward the money to purchase this movie, and then they will produce the movie and then it will be on the schedule. So again, that hasn't happened yet of this year, so because of that, I don't know the independent movies. I'm sure that there would be some on this list if, of course, that actually happens like before the beginning of the year, but alas, it didn't. So again, just keep that in mind. And also, my list is probably going to be different than yours, so again, these are just me looking on, the websites and just seeing these are 10 movies that I personally am really excited for. So, without all exposition, let's get started. So, I'm going to start from 10 to 1 my most anticipated. So, my number 10 is Mulan. Now, I know what a lot of you are thinking. Wow, that's such an odd choice for Chad. I know, right? Like, firstly, I'm not the biggest fan of Disney. Actually, usually don't like them. I still see their movies because I'm a critic, so what can I say? But then the other thing is I don't like their Disney remakes. I think a lot of them are just cash grabs. But Mulan feels like it could be something very special. I just have a gut feeling with this movie that it has a lot of potential. And I am really excited for it. Also, I just love Asian culture and movies like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. I think it's a fantastic movie. Hero, Shadow. There's just so many really good movies that I feel like get overlooked, and it's like Mulan, if it's able to take those styles from those movies, I think that would be really awesome, and that's why I'm really excited for it. Plus, it looks like it could be different from, the animated version of it, so crossing my fingers with this one, but I figured it would be my number 10. Number 9 is a risky decision, for sure, but I think if anyone can pull this off, it's Steven Spielberg, and that's West Side Story. West Side Story, the original, is good. Won Best Picture, but Steven Spielberg, I love it when directors go outside their comfort zone, and I've seen every Steven Spielberg movie, and I've never seen a musical from him, and that's why I'm so excited for this movie, because I'm like, I wonder if he can pull off a musical, so I'm really excited for that alone. Sure, the original is good, I know some people might be up in arms because it is beloved, but here's the thing, I don't love the movie, I respect it, I think it's good filmmaking, but it's not one of those movies where I think like, oh, it's untouchable. I feel like Steven Spielberg could bring, signature touches to it, and who knows, make it even better. So that's why it's my number 9. My number 8 is Stillwater. Now, Stillwater, I have no idea what it's about. I just know Tom McCarthy directed it. The guy that gave us Spotlight. That's right, my favorite movie from 2015. All I needed to know, when I was going through Wikipedia and saw, Tom McCarthy, I was like, okay, and what's the title? Stillwater? Okay, it's on my list. I have no idea what this movie's about. I just know it's Tom McCarthy's follow-up film, The Spotlight. That's all I need to know. That's why I made the list. No joke. So that was my number 8. Much the same way as my number 8. My number 7, I also literally went on Wikipedia, saw the director and the title, and I was like, what's going on? My number 7 is The Last Duel, and it's a Ridley Scott movie. I personally am a really big fan of Ridley Scott, and that's why I'm looking forward to The Last Duel. Plus, it's coming around on Christmas time, much the same way as West Side Story, so I feel like it's going to be like an Oscar-caliber type movie, so very excited for that alone, and that's why it's number 7. So, number 6 is, the title is interesting, to say the least, but nonetheless, I'm still really excited for it. And number 6 is The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It. I personally think that's too long of a title, especially for a third movie in a franchise, but whatever. So, I personally, with the Conjuring franchise, I've only really been a fan of the first Conjuring. I absolutely love that movie. The second one's good. Annabelle Creation, I believe it was, that was solid. But all the rest I really have not liked. I hated the Curse of La Llorona. I really hated the first Annabelle and the third. And then the Nun was So, it's just one of those things where I'm hoping this brings the franchise back. Because, again, with the Conjuring movies, so far I'm 2 for 2. So, hoping we go 3 for 3. But, it is the same director that gave us the Curse of La Llorona. So, here goes nothing, boys. And girls. So that was my number 6. Number 5 is similar to number 7 and 8. I don't know what this is about, other than who wrote and directed it. It's an Aaron Sorkin movie. That's right, guys. Number 5 is The Trial of the Chicago 7. Aaron Sorkin is one of my favorite writers. I absolutely loved him directing Molly's Game and writing that. I love The Social Network. Few Good Men's also really good. Charlie Wilson's War. I really like Aaron Sorkin's style, and I feel like he brings a lot to the table. And that's why I'm really excited for this movie, because I feel like at the very least we're going to be getting a really good script and probably a lot of really good, satire. So I'm excited for this movie. I have no idea what it's about, other than I think it's based on a true story. So there's that. But yeah, so I'm excited for that movie. Now, my number 4 is, there's already a trailer for this movie, and I'm personally really excited for it. No Time to Die. No Time to Die is the latest James Bond movie, and supposedly the last movie with Daniel Craig as the titular character of James Bond. So, the James Bond movies, at least the ones that Daniel Craig's been involved with, the first one was great. Casino Royale was a near perfect movie. Then you have Quantum of Solace, which was not good. Then you have Skyfall, which in my opinion is really, really good. And then you have the fourth one, Spectre, which was really disappointing. Honestly, not a good movie at all. So with how these franchises have been, I'm pretty sure that this is going to be a hit, because every other one is good. So hoping it's good. It's got a great cast. And I'm looking to see this farewell of a movie for Daniel Craig as James Bond. So that's why it's my number 4. So I'm going to give you guys a little background. So my number 3, I actually filmed this video before, and then I actually had to refilm it because of my number 3 choice. My number 3 is The French Dispatch, my mistake, The French Dispatch. It's a Wes Anderson movie. I didn't know this movie was coming out this year. For some reason, don't ask me why, but for some reason I thought it was 2021. But I was looking up, I think it was Owen Wilson, his filmography, and I noticed he was doing The French Dispatch, and I looked at the year 2020, I was like, oh my goodness, I have to redo the list, because I'm like, this has to be on there. This has to be on there. I love Wes Anderson. It's no secret to those of you that know me or have been following my channel. And to see a movie about journalists, as well as in World War II, I believe, I'm down for it. And Wes Anderson, again, I think he's a really unique director, and I'm really looking forward to see what he's doing with French Dispatch. So that's why it's my number 3. Number 2 is a Christopher Nolan movie, and that's Tenet. Tenet is a very interesting looking movie, I think. There's a trailer for it already, and I think that it's going to be a mind-bending experience. I personally, my thing is, I think it's going to be a prequel to Inception. I don't know. It could be either a prequel or a sequel to Inception. I'm not sure, but I feel like it has something to do with Inception. Again, I could be wrong, and I could just be speculating for speculation's sake, but I really do personally believe that. And again, it looks interesting, and Christopher Nolan, he's one of my favorite directors, so let's see what he has to offer, in the 2020s, starting with this movie. So that was my number 2, which honestly could have been my number 1, but I was going back and forth, and I thought about it, and I was like, at the end of the day, my number 1 is probably going to be the movie I am, most anticipated even more, and it comes out at the end of the year as well. My number 1 is Dune. That's right, Denis Villeneuve's latest movie. Same guy who gave us Blade Runner 2049, Sicario, Enemy, Prisoners. He's a great director. I love him. I think he's one of the best talents working today. And as my girlfriend puts it, Dune the book is essentially Game of Thrones, but science fiction. And I'm excited to hear that. I love Game of Thrones, and I love science fiction. None of that Star Wars stuff that, in my opinion, is just fantasy. I love science fiction where it actually gets behind the science of it, and also at the same time has light fiction to it. I love Blade Runner 2049, 2001: Space Odyssey, Dark City. I just love this type of movies, and that's why I'm really looking forward to Dune. Plus, it has a great cast. It's coming out on the end of the year, which makes me even more excited, because it means the studio must have a lot of faith in it and think that it could potentially have Oscar potential. So it makes me really excited for it, honestly, and that's why it's my number 1. So guys, those are my top 10 most anticipated movies of 2020. What are your top 10 most anticipated movies of 2020? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And, again, mine are different than yours, like I said. It's not that there were some that I missed. It's just some I'm like, I don't know how I feel. But, again, these were the 10 that I was like, yes, yes, yes. So, again, those are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section below. And as always, don't forget the subscription, notification bell, and I'll catch you guys later.